Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me today. It's a very, very pleasant morning, sunny, but I think crisp cold outside. And I welcome you here. The industry is in a great state of confusion and the dynamics are changing very, very rapidly. I want to thank you for taking the time and joining us and sharing your thoughts and ideas and listening to our panel. My name is Ziad Khan and I am with Mortgage Z and Community Private Equity Collaborative, which is a private equity fund which works with Mortgage Z and other real estate companies that are in our portfolio. And we offer a spectrum of services that may be of help and use to all professionals, regardless of their affiliation and the platform they use. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ziad Khan, as I said, and I'm an immigrant. I came to the United States 32 years ago, and I was lost. I came here to study, and I was in dire need of mentors. The information was available. The information revolution started in 1995 with the advent of World Wide Web. But still, before that, information was available, mentorship and guidance was not as much. I realized that if people helped me, I could do things much faster that I eventually had to figure out and do. So as I grew professionally, 1996, I found a mentor and I got into real estate when I was doing PhD in information engineering. So I got into real estate in 96, and with the help of the mentor, I progressed very rapidly. I saw many aspects of real estate industry. We came out of 92 recession, and then after that, we have seen several recessions, and we are seeing one now. The purpose of today's meeting is to, as I said, share ideas, discuss, remove confusion, especially for all real estate professionals. It's important that whether this is the best time to buy real estate or wait. So we have on our panel Kelly Clayton, which is a real estate veteran. She's worked on all aspects of real estate. I'm very privileged to have her as my partner and my team member. She has been a mentor, a guide, and a fearless leader in real estate. She will be sharing her thoughts on how and what should we see in this market and how should we guide our customers. And we have Argeria Kehaz. She's an attorney. She's been involved in real estate in different capacities. She's also our team member. She has been buying. It's interesting that we were talking about buying a house for her, and you will hear about her moving down south. So, and then the market dynamics changed, and she was like not sure. She has family members, cousins, friends, all of those giving her advice in different ways, and that confused her quite a bit. So we brought her on the panel to share what is the confusion, how does she want to, move forward or not move forward, or when to do that. So I welcome both Kelly and Argeria, and I give the podium to them to start their deliberation. Kelly.
Thank you, Dr. Khan, for realizing the need for this timely, informational, and encouraging webinar. This is a challenging time for the real estate, mortgage, title, and anyone that even works in the industry. So many people are affected by this. When I entered the mortgage industry in 1988, the rates were 10%, but people were buying homes. 10% in 1988 was considered a really good rate because in 1981, the rates were at 16%. And even at 16%, people were buying homes. By 2006, they were in the mid sixes, and many people decided to jump into the housing market. Not only buyers, but realtors, mortgage professionals. It became a time for a lot of people to jump in. In 2012, the rates had dropped down to 3%. There were a stellar amount of mortgage and real estate professionals in the industry. But at the start of 2022, the rates, again, were in the 3%. Just think, in January of 2022, the rates were 3%. And as we're wrapping up 2022, the rates are settling in at 7%. And we're hearing all of these industry reports about the difficulty and the home buyers and how detrimental it is to buy a home because the rates are 7%. Well, Dr. Khan and I are well aware of the challenges in this economy and what it is presenting to businesses and how it is impacting buyers and sellers and professionals. We have firsthand knowledge in this area because of our mortgage company, Mortgage Z, our construction company, Clayton & Company, our real estate company, which has an MLS and a non-MLS division, and our other referral firm, Integrity Title. All of these, Intel Title, all of these are affected by this economy. So we have firsthand experience and understand the times that we're in. When the last mortgage real estate implosion happened in 2008, I personally saw 95% real estate agents and mortgage professionals exit the market. Today, especially now at the 7% rate, we are seeing the same thing again. People asked me back in 2008, they said, Kelly, what are you going to do? What are you going to do with this horrible market where 95% of the people have exited? And my response then is the same that I have today. When others are running away, I'm going to keep running forward in this economy. And I'm going to run faster, and I'm going to use more tools. All of us saw in June when people were standing in line, fighting over properties, 18 offers, escalated house prices. Honestly, we had clients that paid over $100,000 more than the house was worth. Think about it. And then buyers were saying to us, well, I don't want to buy now because there's multiple offers and I don't want to overpay for the house. And so regardless of what year, what day, what month, and what time, buyers are always going to have challenges. The challenge at hand today that they're saying are the interest rates. And that's why we're here to talk about that. So let's get started with Argeria. Argeria is one of our team members. She works with our title company, Intel Title, and she's here because she's considering buying. As Dr. Khan had explained earlier, she is considering being closer to her corporate team. But when her and I started discussing the home buying process, she had some concerns. And I thought, what a great opportunity, because her concerns are probably the same concerns as many other people will have for the real estate and mortgage professionals. So let's get started. Argeria, thank you so much for joining today and sharing your concerns with all of us so that we can address these concerns and help other home buyers.
Thank you, Kelly, for having me, and Dr. Khan for having me as well. As you stated, I do have quite a few concerns. I'm an attorney in New York, and I am working with Intel Title as well. But I do have concerns about buying a home, especially now with the rising mortgage rates and rising interest rates. I was wondering, what does that mean for me and others as a new home buyer?
Think about the rising interest rates. When you are paying rent, you're really paying 100% interest because you're absolutely getting zero return on your money. I mean, think about, even if your rent is just $1,000 a month, you're taking that $1,000, you might as well just open the window and throw it out there. The only benefit you're getting from paying rent and paying 100% rent, mortgage, interest, is that you have a roof over your head. Think about that. But it's not your home. Every year rentals go up. Think about how much you paid in rent 10 years ago. If you had a mortgage payment, it would be fixed. Think about that. It would be fixed. And then you would be actually building wealth right now today in this market. So the interest
That's right. My rent goes up every year. You're right. It goes up 5% at minimum every year.
Yes.
So my next question was, should I wait until mortgage rates drop again before buying a home? You mentioned earlier before they were fluctuating 10%, 16%, 6%, 3%. Should I wait until they drop again to 3%?
The question I have for home buyers today when they ask me that is, how do you know they're going to drop again? I mean, none of us have the economic crystal ball to look in and say, oh, the rates are going to be 5% in 2025. But even if they are 5% in 2025, how much rent will you have paid in these 3 years that you're absolutely getting no return on that money? I mean, paying your mortgage payment is really an investment. Let me ask you this question. How many wealthy people do you know rent? I mean, I'm just saying, yes. In our current situation, our current economic climate, or even here in America, the difference between the wealthy and the poor, really, it has a direct relationship to home ownership. Think about it. People who own their home, they're building equity, they're able to sell it as an asset, and they're doing the same thing as paying rent. But to answer your question, Argeria, we really don't know what the rates will do in the future. We can't predict the future, but what we can do is make a decision today that today I'm going to have a better use of my finances by building my own wealth instead of paying rent and making a landlord just a little bit wealthier.
I understand that, but what if my mortgage is worth more than my house? What if, because right now we're in a recession, some people have even speculated a depression. What if the value of my property drops below the value of my mortgage? What happens then?
Two things I'd like you to consider. First is 401ks drop, but you leave it in there for the long haul. And that is the benefit of the 401k. That is the first thing. The second thing is, tell me any house, think about any house that sold 5 years ago or even 10 years ago. Are any of them worth less today than they were 5 or 10 years ago? Think about, your mother's house payment, or, how much did they actually pay for that house? Think about people that have owned their home for 10 years. I mean, that's a good question for someone that doesn't understand that real estate appreciates. Our cars and personal property depreciates. So regardless of if the price of the house $5,000 from the time you bought, in a couple years, it's going to be worth a whole lot more than that $5,000. It's not going to be a big enough drop. And there's a lack of, currently there's a lack of inventory. So the prices are not going to drop, maybe a little here and there, but really not enough to even notice that, from my perspective.
Kelly, I have a follow-up question to what Arjiri asked. Information is plenty. People are very smart now. They're very cell phone savvy, or they can look up information on the internet. How to use that information has been a challenge even for real estate professionals. So is there a matrix, or is there an equation, or are there factors that you can, give us that we can present to our buyers, or talk to buyers and tell them that these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever number of factors that they should consider, which add value to their buying in this market?
Well, there are mortgage products available that will assist them in buying in this market. We have the 3-2-1 buy down, where they can go into the property at a lower mortgage payment and adjust to the market slowly. There's mortgage products available now that weren't available. People really get creative in economic downturns to generate more business. So there's more mortgage products available. You need a roof over your head. So buying a house is just, not only is it wise, but it is also a financial investment, Dr. Khan.
Yeah. So I think I probably forgot to mention, for all the participants, if you have any questions or comments, please send them in the chat. And as we go, Kelly, Arjiri, myself, or anybody else who would want to address that, we will keep doing it. Kelly, my point was that if I go to a customer and he says that, okay, I'm very concerned, the interest rates are very high. If I buy now, I will end up paying a lot more. So can you put it in bullet points that how will it help them buying now, their tax value, their appreciation, all of those things that you want to tell us to tell our customers, or directly to the consumers, if we can tell them that?
Okay, number one, as I explained to Argeria, the rents are going to go up where your mortgage payment will be fixed. And every year that you're there, life is going to get easier for you, and you're building wealth. The second thing is there are tax write-offs. Currently, there's no guarantee they're going to continue, but there are tax write-offs. You can write off the interest on your house. And number three, housing prices are going to continue to climb. We have no understanding of what the interest rates will be. So now is the time to buy a home.
Arjiri?
What about rising construction costs with it in home ownership? If I buy a home and it needs to be fixed, as a tenant, I don't have to worry about repairs in the home if something breaks down. What do you say to people that are concerned about that with interest rates rising and costs rising?
The costs were rising considerably when the market was 3% and there were a lot of buyers out there. They're starting to level out a bit. But with the 2-1 buy down mortgage product, Argeria, I'm going to give you an example. Your mortgage payment year one would be like $1,620. I'm talking about a $350,000 property with maybe 10% down, and your credit score is like 700. Your mortgage payment would be $1,620. We can, there's a buy down product. You're saving like $650 a month in mortgage payments. So you're getting the January 2022 interest rate 3.75 your first year. You could save all of that money for, if you need it to handle repairs or something like that. The second year at a 4.75 rate, your payment goes up to $1,825. You're still saving $444 a month. Year three at 5.75, your mortgage payment's $2,042. And I'm talking about $350,000 house. In years 4 through 30, your payment's $2,270. But think about the rent you've saved in those 4 years at your current rental. Think about the money you've saved with this mortgage product of a 2-1 buy down. This should kind of, move a potential home buyer that's deciding, is it a good time to buy or not? This should help them make a good informed decision. And really that's what it's about, making informed decisions. And your clients working with realtors and finding a realtor and a mortgage professional that has integrity and knowledge. that's really important. That's the most important thing at this time.
Yeah, thank you, Kelly. That was really informative. So basically, every time is a good time to buy a house because you're building your own wealth, you're building your own equity. You have basically the same payments year after year. And it really doesn't, and nobody is Nostradamus. We can't tell what the economy is going to do and what interest rates are going to go and where mortgage rates are going to go. So yeah, thank you. I do feel a lot more comfortable. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Dr. Khan, I'm going to turn it back over to you. And I'm here available for anyone that has any direct questions. If they would like any answers, you can contact me by mortgage, text, or email. I would love to help you there. And back to you, Dr. Khan.
I would like to also reiterate that while some consumers know that there are professionals who have more knowledge of the industry and they are there to help them, many of them get influenced by the family and friends and peer group who give them, very conflicting or at least confusing information, which may or may not help them because everyone's individual case is very different. Their journey is different. They go through different paths, and that's why professionals are there. And professionals with the influx of so much information and very little time, professionals have very little time these days, even though they're able to work from home, commuting is gone, and they only have to meet their select few customers. But time somehow disappears and becomes very difficult to articulate all the information that they're going to give to their customers. So Kelly, if you're, I would take that liberty, and if you are available, I would encourage our professionals to, whenever they need any help or any information, I would take the liberty to suggest them. They can, consult you, or there's so many different things, and for professionals in this crunch time, there's so many different ways to increase their income. Their fix and flip loan, their construction loans, there are rent to buy programs. There's so many different options that generally our professionals, because lack of time, because too much information, because sometimes they don't even know where to look, they're unable to guide their customers in the right direction. Many of them do not even tell them some very basic things like, okay, when you own a property, you get, break in your tax, your property appreciates, and also, what else happens?
Your mortgage payment stays fixed.
So the money that they're spending on rent, which just goes away, is now going towards mortgage, which is adding to the equity. It's like very basic. If you put the numbers together, like for example, if they're paying $1,500 rent, which is very common in DC Metro, in Northern Virginia is even higher, versus if they're paying like $2,000 mortgage, what happens in end of year number 1, year number 2? It's like make a simple table, put the numbers, and it should become self-evident that which direction a customer should go, even in this market with the rate. And there is no guarantee the rate will go down. We have spent $6 trillion. We printed paper currency. I don't want to get into politics or government policies, but we printed $6 trillion during COVID, and we circulated that money in the market. And now Feds are working to take that money out of the markets to reduce the inflation, which means that interest will increase. The midterms are over. The government is under no pressure to show that kind of performance. So interest rate, we're not sure if they will go down anytime soon. So we are entering into winter, and when we come out of winter, we don't know what the market will be like. So the professionals, whether they're mortgage professionals or realtors or investors, they need to be creative. They need to be more collaborative. They need to talk to each other. They need to consult with each other. And that's how we can help each other, all of those. The more experienced people like Kelly, who has worked in all the facets of real estate business, they are available. And if you find from LinkedIn and other places, there are many other professionals who are very willing to mentor and help without any consideration, So I encourage our professionals to seek that. Kelly's always available. We are here. We are very willing to do that without any strings attached. As I said in the beginning, any platform you're on, any company you're with, it doesn't matter. We're always here to help with that. Now, I encourage all of you, if you have anything to say, if you have any comments, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. You can send it through chat, or you can, unmute yourself and ask that as well. And as I said, if you don't have any questions now, afterwards, if you have any question, you're very welcome to ask that. And if there is no question with that, I would like to thank Kelly Argeria and our team that has Suleiman Rashid and all those people who have tirelessly worked on making this information available. Next, we will be talking, look for the information, we'll be talking about rent to buy programs, buy down programs, construction and fix and flip loans, if you're interested in that, or if you have customers who may be interested or can benefit from that. So please look out for the information in the coming days. So I would like to thank you all for joining us today, and you have a wonderful rest of the day.
Bye. Thank you, Dr. Khan.